Okay, hi, it's Cooking with Mrs. Ng, and we are making kefta, which is a Middle Eastern meat and is a protein source, and it's super delicious, especially if you grill it. So I want to show you guys how to do this, and you are going to start with ground turkey, which I have here. Not even quite sure how many pounds this is because it comes in a big pack from Costco, but I'm just going to do one pack. I have my onions, I have my parsley, and I'm gonna show you such an easy way to get this done and enjoy it. And what's awesome is to do it a little ahead of time so the seasonings kind of come together. And so I'm gonna do it now on this Sunday afternoon so that we can have it for dinner. If you cannot grill it, because you don't have a grill, you can always do it in the oven. That's way better than, it's way better than doing it on the stove, because you wanna cook it thoroughly. And you will see what I'm talking about. Okay, again, I have my bag for my onion skins because I don't want it to stink. And I'm just gonna do one onion. I think that's plenty. So again, we talked about this before, but you have your sharp chef knife. Those are some of the peels. Always the back of the blade if you're pushing something. You can go ahead and hold the onion and just make a little slit like this first. That makes chopping a lot easier. And then you're going to just hold the onion and chop down. I moved my hand so that you guys could see what I was doing, but I usually try to hold it together. And then just for safety's sake, I just use the back of a knife to take the onions off and then go ahead and turn it the other way. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna hold it this time though. See how I'm kind of holding it together? Again, you guys are new at chopping, then be careful. But I went one direction, I turned it. Well, you always wanna be careful, but you don't need to hold it that way if you feel uncomfortable. You can even curl your knuckles in if you choose to. And always ask, obviously, your parents if you haven't been in the kitchen to cut items. You wanna make sure to ask permission before you go into the kitchen. Okay, so we've got my onion. That was so easy. I didn't even really have to do it as much as I did, but I did because I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. So, super easy recipe with about 7 ingredients. The ground turkey I'm gonna leave to the side. As the ingredients say, it says mix the above together with spoon until well mixed. Okay, so we're basically going to, it says to chop things. So I like to chop everything in my food processor, in my Ninja. That's what I use. I don't really have a food processor. I've not really needed one. I had one when I first got married, but that is long broken and gone. But this is what I do. And I did already chop it. I probably didn't need to do that, knowing that I'm gonna throw it in the food processor. Sometimes my parsley, I've pre-washed it. I line it with a paper towel. And as you can see, these are Cooking with Mrs. Ng, so it's real cooking. It's not, you know, pretend and everything looks awesome. I'm trying to make it as real for you guys as I can. The parsley is kind of getting wilted a little bit. Like, it still looks good, but it has been lined. I washed it. I used my salad spinner. I don't know if you guys have one at home, but I used my salad spinner, which I really love. That's a must-have in the kitchen. I'll show you what that is to get the extra water out. And I am just removing the stem. I don't really think you have to. It's just habit for me. Just not to have a big chunk of stem would be nice. So let me show you my salad spinner real quick. I actually could get another one. It's been really loved. We use this all the time. But the salad spinner has a mechanism inside that actually allows it to, there's a piece of something in there, allows it to spin and get all the water out so it drains. So that's super cool. So I spin my parsley and cilantro or whatever and lettuce, and I will then line my tray or my rectangle with a paper towel. Sorry guys, my son is making me laugh. And with a paper towel, and it will stay for about a week in the refrigerator. Okay, thankfully my family does chip in, not as much as I'd like for them to, but Josiah is seasoning chicken. We try to cook a lot of things on the weekend because during the week it's really hard with all of us working, all of us being home with COVID. So we just try to get so much done ahead of time so we don't end up arguing or having to take takeout because that's unhealthy. So my weekends, my Sundays, pretty much after church are spent in the kitchen. I am trying to go out and get at least a walk in and a little bit of weights because I don't have time as much during the week. So I do like to fit in things for my wellness. But cooking for me is like therapy. I do enjoy it. But after being in the kitchen for 3 hours, I kind of get tired. Today was a video day. I made lots of videos. All right, so I'm just kind of picking through the parts that look good. This is actually cilantro, and you don't usually add cilantro in with this kefta, but you know what? It was going bad, so I am. Again, I'm showing you what I do, and for me personally, I think flavor is awesome. I just did a light rinse on my hand. It wasn't super dirty. They weren't super dirty. So, okay, so now in here I have parsley. I have, be careful because there's a blade in there. I have parsley, I have my onion, and I have my cilantro. It's not gonna hurt us to eat the stems. Watch this. I love my Ninja. Let me get this out of the way. So I'm done with that. So you can see that if I didn't mix up the onion already, it would have been fine because it's gonna get blended. Okay, so I still see there's a few items that are large, so I'm gonna knock it down. Being careful of the blade, because it's just as sharp as a knife. All right, voila. So, this is not a hard recipe, guys. This is actually quite easy. Josiah, can you grab me the breadcrumbs, not the panko, the breadcrumbs from the pantry? I forgot it, thank you. Great to have an assistant in the kitchen. That would be called my sous chef, but you will get that. Another tip that we have at my home, because we all kind of help out and chip in to be a part of a team, is we love having dry erase boards on the refrigerator, so whenever we're out of something, we just go ahead and write on that so that we can move it to our keep list when we go to the grocery store. That seems to work really well. Did you find it's on the right side? It's like where the pasta is, I think. So I don't know about you guys, but I love to organize a pantry. If I could just spend a lot of extra money, I would kind of redo my pantry even, but I'm thankful to have it. So I'm not really measuring. I did give you measurements. No, Josiah, it's in a container where the pasta is. So go to the right to the pasta. Pasta to the right, not the rice noodles. Okay, and then the allspice. Woo, that was big holes. See that? We should make them smaller. And he's still having trouble finding them, but that's okay. He'll find them. Persevere. So yeah, it's really good to have a pantry organized. The more you cook and the more you do stuff in the kitchen, the more you'll find stuff. It's like a scavenger hunt in the kitchen. These are my dried mints and mint. And I think if you saw another video, I'll show you. I'll grab it, just like.
I think I see. You said not the panko?
No, it's right behind it. Okay, so I know this is gonna look funny, but this is mint. Sorry, thank you, Josiah. Yeah. Okay, so can I see that too?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm actually gonna put in it, is Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. You can use plain. You can make your own if you wanted to. And this is panko. Different recipes have different items. Thank you. And then this is mint that I've dried. If you smell it, waft it. Ooh, it smells so good. It is a dried herb, and in that I grow it in my front yard actually in a little area, and then I dry it so I have it all throughout the winter. So I know it kind of looks funny, but I refill this container, and that is my mint. Mint is, I think it's pretty common in Middle Eastern recipes. All right, so now I'm gonna remove my blade, being super careful. I put it in my bowl, and I'm just going to add all my items, and I'm gonna get my rubber spatula, just scrape it in. You guys are gonna be so awesome at cooking. I mean, if you do all these recipes, you're way ahead of me when I was your grade, or your age. So I'm excited to give you the chance to learn new things. Okay, so then I'm gonna just take all my items, including my sharp blade, stick it over here next to the sink, knowing that also we wanna be careful to not cross-contaminate. So that's why I'm always making sure things are clean and away, pushed away. Okay, so now I think it's not perfect, but if I had paper towels right here, I would wipe that up, but it doesn't matter. So let's look at our ingredients. Ground turkey, check, or ground beef. Parsley, check. I even added cilantro. Onion, check. Breadcrumbs. It says a half a cup. So you're gonna use a dry measuring cup. And I'm gonna fill that up. You can tell that I squished this a lot. Half a cup. I'm not gonna do it heaping. I think that's plenty. Again, cooking, you can kind of add what you want. You can add a little bit more, add a little bit less. The breadcrumbs help bring it together so it's not super mushy. And then if you don't like to touch things with your hands, especially raw meat, because remember the cross-contamination we spoke about, this is like a prime thing. This is ground turkey, so it's healthier than ground beef, but our family uses a mix. Sometimes we'll put like half and half. My family tends to like turkey better, beef better, but I like the healthiness of the ground turkey. So for the nutrition, I'm gonna show you this. It has less saturated fats. Okay, so now it is mixed. Now obviously all our spices and stuff should be pushed to the side. I should even unplug my Ninja, because once I get ready to touch anything with raw meat, that is cross-contamination. So I just moved everything away from it. Let me go get this. Actually, I'll go ahead and keep this. This looks like it's plenty. Okay, so I have my 8x8 pan. I'm going to get my wax paper. Sometimes I cut too much, and that's why I have extra folded up in there. Wax paper's fine to line them. I kind of feel like I should be a little bit more generous with the salt. Salt enhances the flavor. I really want to make sure to have enough seasoning. I'm a seasoned person. Now, if you want to look, I love seasoning. If you want to look at recipes, I don't think you'll even go wrong with a little bit of garlic if you wanted to. You can't go wrong with garlic powder. So my son was just using that for chicken. Garlic powder is great. So we buy it in the kind of a big one from Costco. Here you go, thank you. All right, and you can also look up other recipes. This is a very basic kofta. I bet if I talk to different students who also have parents who make Middle Eastern kind of food and we compare the recipes, there's everybody does kind of different things, and that's fine. The next recipe says to shape into ovals or circles. Okay, so the recipe, I'm actually gonna adjust the recipe a little bit before I post it, but for you guys, I actually, like I said, I like to grill. So you can make them like circled little hamburgers, like sliders. It's just really like a seasoned hamburger. You can make it that shape. You can make it, now remember, my hands have been now contaminated. So I should probably have washed them right prior to even forming the balls, because that would be smart. But they were washed before, so all I touched was the garlic and seasonings. Okay, so now that we've made, so you can make them like all ovals like that. Check that we have everything in here shaped like now this. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands. Always you want to wash your hands for 20 seconds before you touch anything at this point, because you want to make sure that your hands are clean. It does 20 seconds. I should have sang the song. Okay, so now we have some choices. You can, remember, as we form it, you want to think, how am I going to cook it? Am I going to cook it on a cookie sheet? I actually love my parchment paper because then it doesn't, or foil even, because then it doesn't stick. This is actually an extra clean piece of parchment that I didn't use for the cookies. You could choose to use it, use a skillet. You could choose to use a skillet. You could choose to grill it. There's so many different ways that you can do this, and maybe based on how, or you could stick it in a 13x9 or a cookie sheet like this, and it's up to you. You can see that I kind of already formed some earlier, and then I decided to be more clear with you guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some, based on how you cook or decide to cook, you might, like if I'm gonna make this on the grill, then I'm gonna make them like a hamburger. I'm gonna make them bigger, because that way they don't fall apart on the grill. So there's mine, and knowing that it's gonna shrink. Or you can make it like this. And some people even put it on a skewer. I haven't found that to be successful for me. Long ovals, because they fall off the skewers. Even though I bought some because I thought it was super cool. When you go to a kebab store or restaurant, they have them on skewers and it looks neat. Smaller hamburger. It's really your choice as to what to do. Let's say you wanted to make meatballs. You can make a ball. So it's really whatever shape you choose to do it. I try to do it, like, for me, if I'm gonna do it, I would rather do all the same so I can cook them the same way. I just want to show you, because that way they have more even cooking. Okay, sous chef, can you come cut a piece of my wax paper? My hands are super yucky right now, so if I touch anything, thank you. If I touch anything, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna have to rewash my hands and go through that all again. So the grill temperature is always the best. So I'm just gonna go ahead and have my son, if you could. Oh, this one doesn't look even. I'm gonna put a little bit more on that to make it even thickness. And then, yeah, just do a small piece to just go right on top. Yeah, there you go, perfect, thank you. Maybe just have one in case I need extra, yeah, thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it like this. Now, obviously it's gonna shrink when they are on the stove or on the, in the oven, and if, you know, I would probably eat one. I would eat only one, but if others needed more, they can have more or choose a bigger one. But it's nice to try to have them in the even sizes so that you don't have to kind of figure out which ones are cooked all the way and which ones aren't. And then you can use the chart that I showed you guys as to what ground meat is supposed to be perfect. I'm glad he did that, because now I can just grab that with my pinky. And we'll make this one a little bit bigger. This would be for somebody who likes meat. Okay. And then I'm just gonna grab my bowl, put it over to the sink. My sink's full, so I'm gonna put it to the side. Okay, my sink has a nice automatic kind of dispenser for the water. So if I just wave my arm under it without even touching it, it actually turns on, which is kind of annoying sometimes, but good in this situation. Remembering cross-contamination, you want to clean your hands thoroughly. And even after I clean my dishes with it and my spoon, I'm going to make sure to microwave my sponge or replace it or run it in the dishwasher, because that is a breeding ground for bacteria. Okay, so now I have my beautiful kofta. I would just put my top on it, and if I kind of marinate that stick it in the refrigerator, I just touched the wax paper. I stick it in my refrigerator, the seasonings will all come together, and then you will enjoy a great kofta meal served with rice and a salad, and you have a balanced meal. All right, enjoy making kofta. Bye-bye.